Hello, Libras, and welcome to this, your May 15th through May 31st reading and predictions. Before we dive right in, quick request, please hit that subscribe button as well as that like button, especially if this resonates. I am still not monetized, and I would really love to be able to get these messages out to more people. All right, let's dive right in. Now, in your last reading that I did for you, covering the time frame May 1st through May 15th, the cards came up indicating that you needed to dive into 369. Those are the three numbers that Tesla was absolutely obsessed with. And so there was absolutely something about 3, 6, and 9 that was coming up for you, as well as having the Three of Swords twice. When the Three of Swords appears, it's usually an indication that there's an emotional attachment of some kind that you need to let go of. And finally, I'm just looking at my notes here if you're wondering why my eyes are not pointed at the camera. You had the Death card, the Judgment card, and the Ace of Wands to close out your last reading, indicating that there was something that needed to get gone out of your life in order for you to be able to move forward. There was also going to be an opportunity for you to sit in judgment of yourself and try and, suss out what was going on. I do know that for you specifically, Libra, there has been a whole lot of upheaval for you in the last year. There's been a lot of changes, but there's also been a lot of really, really powerful spiritual growth for you. So let's dive into your reading and let's see where it takes us. The first cards that we're going to pull for you, Libra, are going to be cards of where you are at now and what's going on for you as I do this reading for you in the middle of May. All right. We have two cards that have jumped out for you. We have the Five of Pentacles and we have the Two of Cups. Let me just turn these around so you can have a quick peek at them. Okay. Now, the Five of Pentacles, let's start off here as it was the first card that jumped out for you. The Five of Pentacles is a card of looking at our finances and needing to do a rebalancing. It's also a card of don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it, especially in the area of finances. And then the other card that you have here is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is the card of partnerships. Now, this is not the Lover's card, nor is it a king and a queen coming out together in the tarot. This particular little card represents partnerships. So it could be an indication that there's a new romance coming up for you, Libra, but it could also just indicate that there's a new kind of partnership coming in, perhaps a mentor-mentee type relationship. So be on the lookout for that in the middle of May and moving into the latter part of May. It is indicating that there is going to be a coming together of two lives. And one of the sayings that comes up, Libra, is people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. The Two of Cups could indicate any of those, a reason, season, or a lifetime. So let me just tap into your energies for just a moment. Libra. Yeah, actually, Libra, I am picking up for those of you who are single and seeking, this card is potentially indicating a new romance on the horizon for you. So be on the lookout for that. For those of you who are already in committed relationships, it may indicate a tightening of the bond that you have between you and your partner. Let's move into what you are focusing on. Where are you putting your energies, your thoughts? What are you working towards manifesting? Let's take a look for Libra. Interesting. We only have one card that has jumped out here. We have the Eight of Swords. This is the accountability card. Now, it may not look like an accountability card, but it is. And what this card symbolizes and what you are working towards at this time, Libra, is taking a good hard look at where you are at in your life and having the acceptance and the accountability to say, I am where I am because of the decisions and choices that I have made in my life. Now, of course, there are certain things that are outside of our control. Sometimes what is outside of our control is, I don't know, death, taxes, these types of things. We don't have a lot of say over that. However, with regards to taxes, we as a people, as a global population, could probably effect change if we wanted to. But the problem is that, and I'm using the example of taxes for a reason, because this card actually represents much smaller things that come up in our lives, but I think everyone can relate to taxes and relate to the reality that when it comes time to pay taxes, be it we're making a purchase at the store and taxes added on, be it that we're purchasing a larger purchase, house or car, and all of a sudden we go, oh, I forgot to factor in the taxes, and that's really going to hurt. Or be it taxes that we're having to pay on an inheritance, for example, or a capital gains tax, or any kind of taxes, income taxes. They make us feel like we are bound, like we have no choice, like we have a blindfold on, our wrists are bound together, and we don't have a choice. The other side of that coin, however, is we could choose to move to a country where taxes are significantly less or even non existent. There are several countries where that's possible, Libra. But the other side of the coin of taxes is in a lot of countries, there are certain benefits that we reap as a result of the taxes that we pay. Okay. So, getting back to your specific reading here, Libra, the reality is that if you are working on accountability, you may be saying things like, oh, I absolutely hate my job. I can't believe I have to get out of bed and go to my job again tomorrow. You feel like you are bound, like you are trapped, like you don't have a choice. You have to keep going to the job and paying, of course, those taxes. But you feel like you're stuck. The other side of that coin is you have a choice. You could quit your job. You could move along. You could find another job. Okay. Or you could look at it as at least I have a job. Maybe I should stop complaining about it so much. Okay. That's what this card brings up for us, Libra, is that sense of I can complain, but I also have to be accountable about where I am at. Why am I where I am? Am I holding myself in this particular place? So, this is the lesson that you are currently working on, Libra. Let's take a look at your difficult influences. I'm getting called over here to the Osho Zen. Now, if you are interested in any of the decks that I use in my readings, that one's on the floor. If you are interested in any of the decks that I use in my readings, check the description below. I will leave links for you to all of the decks. All right. Difficult influences and challenges. We have two cards that have flipped out for you. One of them is on the floor. Oh, this would be the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is the card of harmony. It is the card of satisfaction. It is the card of acceptance of who we are and where we are in our lives. You have this in your difficult influences, Libra, indicating that that's not really how you're feeling right now. you're not feeling like you are in a harmonious position. You're not feeling like you're satisfied, obviously, because you have the Eight of Swords in your focus or what you're concentrating on. Is it possible to bring about harmony when our lesson or our area of concentration is the Eight of Swords? Absolutely. Look at the character on here. How is the character achieving harmony on this card? Well, of course, heart, brain, coherence, that meditative state, that bringing the brain waves out of this frantic, I can't stand my job and I don't want to be where I am and I got to get out of here and so on and so forth. How do you bring yourself out of this so that you can think clearly about either staying where you are and making the best of it or getting out of where you are and the steps that you need to take to do so, so that you don't feel like you're bound up and trapped? Meditation. Meditation, exercise, any of these. Okay. The other card that you have in your difficult influences is your completion card. Now, this card corresponds to the world in the major arcana of the traditional tarot. And this is the card about learning the final piece of the puzzle so that we can get out of situations that we feel we're in. It is about closing out soul lessons. Well, one of the ways that we close out a soul lesson, Libra, is to be fully accountable and recognize our role in our lives. That is the piece of the puzzle. That is the final piece of the puzzle. When we can look at our lives and say, I'm here for a reason, I'm here as a direct result of decisions and choices that I've made in my life, and I am prepared to take on those lessons, move forward from those lessons. That is the completion card. And it looks like you are on the way to doing that, but you are still bumping into that particular lesson. That's why this has come up in your difficult influences. Excuse me, I'm getting called back. No. Yeah. Okay, normally I would pull messages from the universe, but right now I'm being called towards pulling your unexpected. So let's take a look at what's coming up in unexpected for you. Unexpected for Libra for the latter half of May. Okay, there was a card that was flipped over here. Let's flip that card back over. All right, let's see what is in your unexpected. Yeah, you have the Strength card and you have the Emperor card in your unexpected. The Strength card is our reminder. It is our reminder that we are stronger than we think we are. Life throws us curveballs. We always ultimately come out of whatever life throws our way, even if it's a difficult situation. But sometimes when we're caught up in the tornado of a difficult situation, it's hard to see our way through. And you also have the Emperor coming in. Now, the Emperor is a powerful masculine figure who has the ability and capacity to think his way through or out of any situation. I also want to go back to this Two of Cups here, this partnership card. This partnership card, I do sense that there is potentially a new relationship or a shift in a relationship happening for you right now. And part of what's coming up for me, Libra, is that with this Eight of Swords is there's some accountability. This is going to be a big growth stage for you, for lack of a better term. As you take responsibility for your role in the relationships that you have, whether those relationships are with your mother or your father or with a significant other or with a mentor, pay attention to how you are interacting with them and how they are interacting with you. with a view to this accountability card, um, I don't know why this is coming up right now, Libra. Like it's taking me off of where your reading was originally going, but I think that it's important to tie everything together here. That there's either a new relationship coming up for you, or there's a change and a shift in your relationship. And that change and a shift or that new relationship is going to be as a direct result of you learning to take responsibility for your actions and your role in the dynamic of that relationship. This is not just about a job or a career and hating your job or career, but it's also about looking at even um, with the completion card here, looking back at past relationships and getting out of a place of blame. Oh, my relationship ended because they did this. My relationship ended because they did that. Them. This card is about looking in the mirror and saying, was I culpable in this? And if so, what can I change going forward? I think that's why you've got the strength card coming in here, Libra, because that particular lesson, when you are forced to take a deep dive into something that's happened in your life that, like an ending or something, and your own responsibility in that, it can be tough. And I think that the strength card is coming out to let you know you have what it takes to take that deep dive and to take ownership of that responsibility. And the Emperor coming in your unexpected. Like I said, the Emperor has this strong masculine presence, um, but he's also accountable. That's part of this masculine presence. And he has the ability to think his way through. He's very, very much about the intellectual as opposed to the emotional. So I really get the sense that there's a huge shift on the horizon for you, or you're already in the throes of changing dynamics in the most important relationships in your life. Messages from the universe, messages the universe wants you to hear at this time. Okay. So as I drop the cards down, you're going to notice, oh no, it did go back in. There was a card that I thought was going to stay sticking up, but it didn't. I was going to grab it out. And we have two messages for you. We're talking about relationships. You have the Two of Cups coming in here. You've got the Eight of Swords here. You've got the Completion card, the Strength card, the Emperor, and your message from the universe. Now I know why the universe had me pull the unexpected cards before the messages card, as well as why this reading appeared to go off the rails and then went back on the rails. Because the first message the universe has for you, Libra, release toxic relationships. Yeah. If a relationship is not healthy, obviously release it. But be prepared as well to look in the mirror and say, if a relationship is toxic, do I have any culpability or did I play any role in this as well? And be prepared to go down that rabbit hole. There may be absolutely nothing that you feel that you've done wrong, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you may go down that rabbit hole and say, wow, I could have prevented some of this toxicity. I mean, if a relationship is toxic and it's finished and it's done, that's fine. And there's something new coming in, that's wonderful. But we have to learn from each relationship that we go through. And if we're unwilling to be accountable, if we're unwilling to explore our role, whether we are fully responsible or not for the ending of one thing and the beginning of another, those who fail to learn from the past are deigned to repeat it. I don't know where that came from. That was really weird. I don't normally talk like that. I believe that's a quote. It might even be Winston Churchill. I'm not sure who said that. But we as human beings, if we don't learn from the past, if we don't learn from our mistakes, if we are not accountable, we have a tendency to, when we move on with this completion card to the next best thing, if we haven't learned, if we haven't taken responsibility for anything, when we get ready to move into something new, there's a good possibility we might repeat the mistakes of the past. Feel joy in all that you do, Libra. Yes, feel joy in all that you do. These are really difficult lessons that are coming up at this time for you, Libra, but they're also really, really important lessons. And when you integrate those, oh, I've got like angels singing in my head right now. All right, let's pull your final cards. And then at the very end of this video, I do have a special treat where I'm going to pull yes, no cards for you. So if you do have a question that you would like to have answered with a yes or a no, and you're willing to put your trust in the cards, please stick around all the way until the end. All right, so it looks like we have just one card that's come out for your final general overall outcome. Your final general overall outcome is the same card that you had for your final general overall outcome in your last reading as well, and that would be the Ace of Wands. There it goes. It's in focus now. Okay. Ace of Wands is about a new beginning, but it's a new beginning that requires you to take action right away. The suit of wands is ruled by the element of fire. Element of fire is all about taking action. So when you feel like you have fully integrated this accountability lesson that you've been focusing on anyway, and you feel like you have the last piece of the puzzle in place, by all means, step up, step into something new, whether that be a new shifted dynamic in your relationship or whether that be a new relationship altogether. Take action, move this thing forward, Libra. All right. So, finally, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and bring to mind your final question. All right, we're going to shuffle up this deck until we have a final card for Libra, yes or no. All right. Libra, in response to your question, the answer that the cards have given you is choose a new direction. Choose a new direction. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Please allow me the honor of doing your next reading at the beginning of June.